We're now joined by UFC featherweight Alex Caceres, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cape Press.
Hey Alex, how are you?
Doing fine, and yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. Alex, you put together a nice win streak here. Is there anything in particular you attribute this run to, or is it just you've been able to put it together pretty well in the cage during this stretch?
Well, I know I'm always trying to get better, so I can attribute it to time and patience and effort and practice. You know, uh, yeah, I can't tell you that much. It's a puncher's chance every time you get in there too. Sometimes you lose to the worst, sometimes you lose to the best, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, and it happens.
Since your days on The Ultimate Fighter, you've had, one of the more noticeable hairstyles in the UFC, and anytime you do something to it, fans obviously react to it and are surprised. What's it like when, people are almost invested in your look from the outside? What's that like?
It doesn't really bother me, or I don't really notice it or pay too much mind to it at all. Uh, it's my hair. I can do whatever the hell I want to it.
You think you're gonna keep it this look for a while?
I cut it. The reason why I cut it is because I grew my hair out for a very long time, but in growing it out, before I grew it out, I had it shaped up, and it was shaped up uneven. I didn't do nothing about it, so I just let it grow out into the hair that everybody knew that I had and whatnot. And I decided to cut it and make sure that it was even, and I'm letting it grow back again. See what happens. I'm not really particular with any styles.
You talked about it during the media day yesterday, being the longest tenured UFC fighter. I want to ask, when you see guys like a Clay Guida, like a Jim Miller, they just have this ridiculous amount of years. It seems like they've just been in the UFC forever. I mean, do you see those guys and are those the like, you know what? I want to be that guy years from now. I want to be that veteran of veterans in the UFC.
No, there's no desire. There's no desire to chase any type of result of that. I just noticed it, that I've been in the UFC for so long, and I don't feel as if my body is slowing down or deteriorating in any way, shape, or form. Therefore, I know that I can continue this career and continue this run as a martial artist for a very long time afterwards. And understanding that truth, I feel that I can put together a career that's longer than anybody has ever seen. Maybe I can attribute it to the way that I eat, the way that I live, or the way that I train, but uh, it's just it was just a gesture. It was just noticing a certain thought process is all.
Understood. My final question, just how do you feel you match up stylistically with Kevin?
Uh, Pretty well, I guess. I feel like I'm confident in my abilities with anybody, matching up with anybody. I don't think there's a, how would you say? I don't know what to say about that, sir.
All good. Thank you, Alex, and good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jim Barcelona with the Miami Herald.
Thank you, Alex. Hey, how did training camp go for you? Did you train in Miami? How did things go? And did you change anything up with training or just business as usual?
Yeah, training went very well. Didn't really switch things up. We always prepare for the next opponent, and we always try to get better every day. So, um, I've been training in Miami. Yes, I have. I've been training with Enrico Coco as in Jiu-Jitsu, and but other than that, nothing's really changed. We come into work every day, and we like to work hard. So, other than that, it's the same old, same old.
Like, what's it like training in South Florida? There are so many good places to train, so many good trainers down here. It's amazing. For you, just what is it like being a part of where you are and what you're doing there in the gym?
I never really put too much thought into that. Training for me is training, no matter where I am. I think one of my coaches from Arizona, Coach Crouch, said it the best. Alex, I'm not worried about you. I know if you're training in a gym or on a mountain in a forest, you're gonna be prepared just fine. So to me, it's where my mind is at rather than where my body is at.
Hey, Alex, where does a victory, where does that take you? Where does that get you next, a victory in this fight?
Wherever the UFC puts me, to be honest with you, I do not have a decision in that matter or choice. I mean, I could call people out, but I have no desire. I don't know too many fighters. So wherever they want me to fight next and who they want me to fight next, I will accept it willingly.
Alex, do you have a Street Fighter background? Is that I read that? Don't know if it's true. Just wanted to get that from you. It's very interesting to me. I know Jorge Masvidal came up with Street Fighter. It's done very well. Was that something in your background as well? And did that transition well? If it was, did that transition well to MMA?
Yes, I performed in street fights before. I believe the videos are on YouTube as well. So it's pretty known that that's where I began my career, or I guess began my competitive fighting, I would say, but I was training years before that as well. Does the street fighting transfer into mixed martial arts in the cage? I can say it does. I can say any type of fighting will do. You know, you see a lot of styles and people fight very differently out there, and no matter what background they come from, they seem to do pretty well for themselves. So, uh, yeah, I guess you can say so.
Well, Alex, all the best and thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Omer Mursavici with S Sport.
Hello, Alex. How are you?
Doing fine, and yourself?
Yes, thank you. I'm fine too, man. Alex, you had a nice winning streak. Do you consider yourself a contender for a title after this winning streak?
I can't say that I can consider myself a contender for the title after this winning streak. To be quite honest with myself, I have not beaten anybody that is known yet in this winning streak. We had some mishaps where, you know, opponents would change and whatnot, but I'm beating some people that were fairly fresh into the UFC, even beginning with I forgot Austin Springer in San Antonio, Texas, Chase Hooper. Wait, was Austin Springer in San? I don't remember. Yeah, that was the last one. But yeah, they were newcomers to the UFC. Chase Hooper probably the most notable victory there because he was undefeated and he was he was a prospect that they were all looking at. And not only that, he did very well in his last fight as well. But other than that, I feel like I have to beat ranked people, people that are more known in order to be considered as a contender, to be honest with myself.
Okay, Alex. I always wonder about the fighters' lives. What's the hardest thing about being a fighter?
Uh, I guess the hardest thing about being a fighter.
Fight, maybe.
No, the fight is easy. The fight's where you release. Training is definitely difficult, but I also love training. Training is my release. I train hard. You can ask my coaches and my teammates. You know, I like to train. I'm the one who wants to spar hard, who wants to drill hard, who wants to put things at a higher pace. It's just the way that I like to do things. But I guess the hardest part for me about training, and it doesn't happen anymore because I have chosen my grounds correctly, but is training with people that don't kind of like to train as hard as I do. And it becomes very frustrating because I know that I could get more out of it if the person would push me further.
Okay, my last question, Alex. Big boxing match coming, Canelo versus Yildirim. What's your prediction? You following that match or?
I don't know any of those people. I don't watch boxing. I don't watch sports, so I cannot give you my opinion on that, sir.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Good luck on
Thank you.
Saturday.
We'll take our next set of questions from Ryan McCarthy with Low Kick MMA.
Hey Alex, how's it going, man?
Doing good, and yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Just a couple questions here. I mean, you're on a 3-fight winning streak, 2-0 in 2020. What does the ideal 2021 look like for you? Are you is there a specific number of fights you have planned or anything like that?
No, I take them as they come. I like fighting, you know, so to me, it's not necessarily a career. And I know it sounds weird that I've been in the UFC for so long, but my ideals have changed over the years and course of time that I have grown and expanded myself to new horizons. I just like doing it, and I don't wish to search for results anymore. I just want to be there. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I just want to be.
Awesome. And you're in a tough featherweight division, man, arguably one of the best in the sport. So can we get a prediction on Volkanovski versus Ortega in the next that's happening next month?
I don't really look into it that far, honestly. I don't watch the sport. I don't watch fighting. Volkanovski, I heard of him, but I can't really even put a face on him if I had to like really think about it. Ortega, I know he's a great grappler and he has some heavy hands, so But I don't have an opinion. I don't have a bias towards any of them.
Okay. And last question for me here. Any cheat meals you're getting after a big W on Saturday?
No, I eat. I'm just gonna eat whatever I want. There's nothing really like a cheat meal or anything. I like fruits and vegetables, so I'm gonna keep eating them.
Cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for your time and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Cote Cruz with ForTheWin.MMA.
Hola Alex, ¿cómo estás? ¿Me escuchas?
Sí, sí,
¿Todo bien contigo? Un gusto poder saludarte.
sí, todo está bien.
Ya, te voy a hablar en inglés porque quiero aprovechar el tiempo con los colegas también.
Gracias.
How's Vegas been treating you, man? How's this fight week going?
It's been going really great. Vegas has been treating me well. It's weird, but I like the quarantine setup, honestly. Um, I like just being able to focus and sitting in my own thoughts, channeling everything, filtering everything out of me, and really just getting down to it. It's been a good week. It's been a good last 3 fights that I had in Vegas, so it's been very good.
Well, last Saturday, we saw Julian Erosa take a big W. After the fight, he showed interest in fighting you. He thinks that that could be a fun fight, and I cannot disagree. How would you like that matchup?
Who?
Julian Erosa, he finished with a great flying knee last week.
Julian Erosa, and he says he wants to fight me now. That's a featherweight. I don't know who he
Yeah.
is.
You truly do not watch the sport you compete in, man.
No, I'm
I
sorry.
was no, that's amazing. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Why do you not watch the sport? Is there a
It's
particular
boring.
reason?
It's boring to me. There's
Yes.
some fighters that aren't boring, but for the most part, it's a drag. I just don't like watching it. I don't like the way the people think about it. I don't like the way that people talk about it either. I think we have a very misconstrued and skewed view on what martial arts is, and the more and more we look at it that way and talk about it that way and view it that way, I feel like it's a perverse way of looking at it, and I think we're just bastardizing what martial arts truly is, and we have to really get back to the roots, the respect that we should have for every single fighter, the person that really comes up from the ground up and says, I'm going to step in here, risk everything, and perform for whatever, the glory of the crowd, or whatever it may be that they're performing for. But it's something that it takes a special growth of a person in order to endure and do. So I think we have to be a little bit more tasteful on how we react to those situations. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that answer, Mary. I really like it. Let's get to the fight. What do you believe is the most important aspect of what Kevin Kroom brings to the table for your fight?
I believe Kevin Kroom's he's a tough guy. He's a scrapper. He's willing. I think that's the most important aspect, that he's willing to fight, and he's willing to, go to the ends with me. As far as I can see, I don't know completely and 100%. I'm not in the other person's mind, but other than that, I think the willingness to fight me is the most important thing. That none of us are going to back down. But then again, everybody's willing to fight me. Like you said, another person's calling me out to fight me, and I've had like 3 or 4 people calling me out after my last victory to fight me. So just either they want to fight me because they want to have an exciting fight, or they just really perceive that they can beat me or run right through me and just make a name for themselves. It really doesn't matter to me.
Final question from me. You were scheduled to fight Giga Chikadze last year, but that unfortunately did not happen. The good thing was that you were booked soon after that fight against Springer, and you won by a submission. Would you be interested in rebooking a fight against Chikadze in the future?
Like I said, I have no interest in fighting any one person or anybody. I don't really know who they are. I don't care for the notoriety I might get for fighting. I just put me against another opponent and put me there, when I'm ready and able, and I'll be there to fight. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you feel like I should be fighting, or the UFC feels that I should be fighting, then that's who I'm going to fight. I don't say no.
Fair enough. Best of luck on the fight this Saturday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Alex. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.